What's happening, Facebook friends? I have to talk to you this way. I have to get Keith to load this to my Facebook wall because I'm 16 hours away from being able to communicate with you people. So, but what I want to talk to you about today is professional wrestling. I watch more wrestling than you can shake a fucking stick at. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons. I spend all my free time right here on the internet educating my fucking brain with all the shit that's going on from the late 70s up until this past Tuesday night. Right now, I'm looking at shootinterviews.com. If you guys want to check out some pretty good shoot interviews, go to www.shootinterviews.com. Check out the shoot interviews. It's basically the same shit that I'm trying to do here. I just haven't had the opportunity yet to snatch up some of these cats that's been on this shoot. YouShoot is what it's called. YouShoot, YouTube, YouShoot. Brilliant. I love it. He even has the word shoot is in the red block with, just like YouTube. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching Jim Cornette. He's giving an interview right now about, people that's on his shit list. People that he does not like in this business. And let me tell you something. For those that don't know who Jim Cornette is, he used to manage the Midnight Express back in the WCW and NWA days. Carried the tennis racket inside the case. I mean, awesome. Had Big Bubba Rogers as his bodyguard. I mean, that's about the era of wrestling that I like, is that mid 80s, late 80s, you know what I mean? I like the Starrcade 86, 87, 85, you know what I mean? The Chi-Town Rumble, Chi-Town Heat. I like checking out all that old school shit because that's what I grew up on. That's the wrestling that I was watching. Of course, you had your WWF that was on TV, but man, I'm telling you, NWA, WWF, Crockett Cup, Crockett Promotions and shit was different, man. I mean, to me, at that time, professional wrestling was just a little, just didn't. I don't want to say that four-letter word, but I'm going to say it anyway. This shit just looked too fucking fake. You know what I mean? Back in the 70s and 80s, they were drop-kicking motherfuckers and the feet was here and the dude would fall. You know what I mean? They'd take the punch and the fist would stop here and motherfucker jerk his head. You know what I mean? Now they've, mastered this shit a little bit better now to where you can actually, you popping somebody. You know what I mean? It's the way you do it, man. It's an illusion. And you want to give that optical illusion to them fans that, you just clocked this motherfucker. Now, we'll get into some stiff competition or some stiff conversation later on. But in the meantime, I'm sitting here watching YouShoot, and there's a video here with Jim Cornette. Now, I just watched one with Shane Douglas, and I like to watch Shane Douglas talk. I mean, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. One of the best promo guys out there was definitely Shane Douglas. I mean, whether he off camera, on camera, when he had a one-on-one conversation with you, it was like having a shoot interview with this guy. He really, it grabbed me up, man. I mean, straight up. I'm going to tell you, my very first time seeing Shane Douglas live after Dean Douglas. He was Dean Douglas in WCW and WWE. He ends up in ECW, and without a doubt, I don't know where ECW would have gone if it wouldn't have been for Shane Douglas being the franchise and just being that man. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day about title reigns, and I was telling you that back in the day, and still to this day, I mean, your champion needs to remain, the champion for a long period. You don't want your champion to just be a champion for a couple months. You got to push your heavyweight at least 8 months to a year. You know what I mean? Good matches, awesome finishes. You know what I mean? Keep the crowd rolling, keep them on their feet, keep them in suspense. You know what I mean? And just make it, the best show possible. I'm taking the shoes off. So, And I'm reaching out there, I'm putting it out there for Mr. Cortez and Mr. Anthony Soprano. Listen, guys, don't let your heads get all big. I mean, you had 2 successful shows, a good turnout, but I would suggest that if you have any storylines, you guys reach out to me. You know what I mean? Don't try to put something together with a cat that's only been in this business for a year or 2 years. You know what I mean? As a promoter, you should find someone, that knows this business inside and out. Let that person do all your writing for you. Let me sit down and talk to these guys and figure out a game plan for them for, a few months down the line. I mean, down the road. You don't want to jump right out there and try to put something together and it look like shit. That's what you don't want to do. So, what you can do is, watch classic wrestling. You know what I mean? There's a few things that these independents are not doing that's real simple that you could do to, generate a buzz. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been the type of person that felt as though if you're going to do a promo, do the promo where the fans can see it. When I used to watch WCW and on Ted Turner, on TBS, they had their studio in Georgia, there in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And it was only 2 rows of seats around 3 sides of this ring. And it looked to me like it was just one big office room that was just emptied out. They put a ring inside. They put some cameras on some rollers and they rocked and rolled with it. They hung some banners and shit from the ceiling, on and popping. You got yourself a nice little setup right there. And that's lacking. That's not happening anymore. I firmly and strongly believe that that day is going to come where Mr. Cortez or Mr. Soprano or even Sean Hardy, if he decides to go ahead and go balls out with 1CW, which I hope that he does, because 1CW to me was the premier wrestling federation in the state of Delaware. You know what I mean? It shit on everybody else. I mean, it's like the shows were good turnout. You know what I mean? He knows this business. You know what I mean? And he's been taught by the best. And Sean was the type of cat that sat back and he observed and he watched and he listened. And that's all that's asked of you cats that are doing this shit. Just listen. Listen to somebody. You know what I mean? You might not be that good at ideas. There's people out there that got ideas that sound good to them, but it just ain't gonna work. You can try it. Always try something once and see what happens, man. You know what I mean? But if it don't work out, then you move on to something different. There's a few things, like back to the promos, ringside. I liked it when Tony Schiavone would go out to ringside, and and he would interview either the heels or the faces right at ringside. And most of the time it was the face. Most of the time it was the heels. I will put some videos up today, in the next 16 hours, showing you exactly what it is I'm talking about. On how, it just looks good. It looks professional. You know what I mean? When you do something that's different. And that's different. And nobody's doing it. You know what I mean? So, step it up. Do that. Be that cat that says, you want to know what? I liked what JD was talking about. You know what I mean? So I checked it out. And yeah, that shit is dope. You know what I mean? So just check it out. That's all I ask. You know what I mean? And try it one time. Take some money and invest it in a big backdrop. You guys, all y'all, gotta have that, man. You need a big fucking banner hanging right over them garage doors where the still cam is it's facing the ring at all times, and you see that big Rampage Pro hanging there. Now, Mr. Cortez, I suggest that maybe you get a carpenter. You need to have a big old wooden piece of plywood with your design cut out of it, painted, with the hands on the edges, holding it up. You know what I mean? Even, and then you can, like, you can put some loop rings at the top and chain that shit, and you can have that shit hanging from the rafter inside the show. You definitely got to do that. That is dope, man. I'm telling you. Listen, I was going to save this and wait till later on, but trust me, if you think for 1 second that all I do is sit and watch videos and I'm not trying to put something together, you're sadly mistaken, because I am in the process of bringing my own independent Fed to the state of Delaware. I'm not saying I'm going to sit here and show you guys how to do it upright, but I'm going to show you guys some shit that you haven't tried yet. And it's going to work with me. And as simple as that, it's going to work. You know what I mean? You want to bring that shit right to the fans. You know what I mean? Whether you do your interview with that wrestler right inside the ring, or you do it outside the ring, right on the corner, or when the match is over with, they make their way over to the fucking promo section. You know what I mean? They make their way over to that corner where you've got the lights lit up, you got some tripod, you got some bright lights, you got your big banner hanging behind you, it's got Rampage Pro written on it, you know what I mean? It's a state of Delaware, you know what I mean? Or whatever you want to put on there, you're versatile, you put your sponsors and shit all on there if you want to, or just go straight up with, United Wrestling Alliance, or your UWA, or Rampage Pro. You know what I mean? Rock and roll with it, man. Get it done. Holler at your boy. If you need some work done, you need somebody to paint something, you need somebody to start doing some designs for you, well, fucking hit me up. You know what I mean? Use me. You know what I mean? Because I'm free. All this knowledge and shit that I got about this business, it's free to you guys, man. Sit down with me and talk with me about what it is that you want to do. And I will tell you, trust me, because I'm going to tell you, you cats haven't done nowhere near as much as I have done. I mean, you haven't traveled like I've traveled. You haven't seen, all these other independents in the country. And trust me, I've been to a lot of them. I've been to a lot of shows that I've never even talked to anybody about. You know what I mean? I've gone to a lot of wrestling events, you know what I mean? A Milestone in the Carolinas, that's another company that is making a name for themselves. You know what I mean? Right Coast Pro. I've got to check out a Right Coast Pro show. The last time I saw Right Coast Pro promo or something of them, I love their backdrop. I love that Right Coast Pro Wrestling and shit, man. I'm telling you, man. Put some money into that. You know what I mean? Make it look good. Fuck a promo in front of a door. Fuck doing a promo in front of some fucked up ass plastic hanging on a wall. Get your shit set up nice to where these wrestlers can leave the ring, walk 10 or 15 feet, go see Big Mike and be interviewed right there on the spot. That's what can happen, man. That's going to make your shit look fresh. People are going to want to see that. And when you're doing a promo live right out in front of everybody, well, then the fans are going to be cheering. If you're a face, they're going to be dogging you out if you're a heel. And you want that crowd noise. You want all that hollering going on when you're doing your promos. Just look at the old NWA, WCW shit on TBS. When Flair and the Horsemen would come out there, you'd hear the fucking women screaming and going nuts, man, and all that shit. Those were awesome promos. Those were some of the best that I've ever seen. If you really want to step it up, then just get a big old flat screen television that you can hang on a wall or you can put up on a stand. Plug it in. You know what I mean? Put a DVD in it. You know what I mean? That's just looping Rampage Pro. Maybe take some footage from the past couple shows, edit that shit, and let that loop on the television where you do your promos. All right? You get the picture? You see it? Wrestling's over. The winners go over there. They talk. Then the losers come in and they talk. It will, it can eliminate some of the matches from an event because you're going to have that time for promos. And I'm not saying that, every fucking match they're over there doing a promo, but damn near over 50%. You definitely got to have your tag team champs, which Rampage Pro has no tag team champions right now. That's coming soon. They don't have a female champ. That's coming soon. So really what they have right now is just, the Open Challenge title, and they got the Rampage Pro heavyweight title. And that's it right now. So Rampage Pro is on the growth. It's on a roll. And I'm very, very proud of what Cortez did this past weekend. You know what I mean? And thank you very much for letting the clown come to the show and set up a table. All right? Now it's time to get the clown in the ring. It's time to go ahead and let's show these cats out there. Let's show these fans out there just what Maniac's all about. All right? I ain't going to talk no more about the clown. The clown's going to start showing and proving. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, listen, check out all the shit that's on the internet, man. I will give you some links that you can go check out, but you definitely got to check out YouShoot, .com. Check it out, man. It's fucking badass. I'm always on it. And then once you start watching, let's see here.
I can tell you already, just because he's he's a fucking little slime, but just because he's more inoffensive, we gotta stick at it. God damn! Yeah, it's gonna fill
So check this out. I bought this.
You know what? That whole thing was blown up out of proportion. Bruce Pritchard showed me a video. I'd never heard of these fucking people. I only listen to music, so why should I have heard of these people? In like 1997, he shows me a videotape of the Japanese hardcore IWA, which I don't watch anyway, but there's Terry Funk and there's Cactus Jack. But these fucking people, whoever the fuck they are in their real lives, are doing the commentary. They gave everybody phony names, and they're making a joke out of the wrestling business. And Bruce
he's talking about ICP.
He likes funny, silly shit. I didn't think it was fucking funny. And when I found out that the Insane Clown Posse were fucking musicians, if I can use that term loosely, then I thought, look, I don't come and...
Cornette better watch what he says about these juggalos. He'll fuck around and get his old ass whooped at a Waffle House. I mean, it's like, sometimes Jim Cornette just says some shit that will irk your fucking nerves. You know what I mean?
Fucking make fun of music. Why are you making fun of my business? I was there the night that Victor Quinones, the promoter, and Cactus Jack walked up to him and said, "Where's our check for that tape that you sold?" And to their credit, they cut him a fucking check right on the fucking spot. But I think they make fun of the business. It's that hardcore bullshit. I've seen videotapes of these juggernauts or juggalos or whatever in a mud field, fucking watching this shit where they fucking, I don't know, it's like a David Letterman stupid pet.
All right, for one, Cornette, and I know you won't see this, but what the fuck are you talking about? Have you ever been to a gathering? All right, these motherfuckers put 25 to 30,000 fucking paid people at a show at $375 a ticket. You do the math. All right, they book motherfuckers that you used to work with. You know what I mean? They book them. The Rock and Roll Express. You know what I mean? Fucking Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. Them boys are JWO, man. They're JWO, Juggalo World Order. I'm a fucking diehard. I'm a diehard Juggalo, man. I'm a jug till the day I fucking die. Straight up. Whoop, whoop to all my motherfucking friends out there. Simple as that, man. I love them. I enjoy being with them. I have fun working with these guys. You know what I mean? I just love the fact that I can pitch my fucking tent right next to a tour bus, and I get to cook out on the fucking grill, and I get to put food in these motherfuckers' mouths and shit, man, that he bad mouths. He's a fucking moron. That's why Jim Cornette will never be at a gathering of the Juggalos. You know what I mean? Which is sad, because Cornette would be great. He'd be great to have at the gathering. I think he needs to go to one gathering, and he'll change his whole fucking mind on ICP.
But it's humans. I don't get the whole fucking thing. Stay out of my business. I'll stay out of your business. They're not on the show. But nah, they're not that important. Very good.
Oh, so he shuns them. Nah, they're not that important. They make $10 million a year on the underground. You dumb motherfucker. But I still like to hear him run his mouth.
Hulk Hogan. No, once again, no. I mean, it's sad now that the guy who, except for Austin and Rock, has set more records, made more money, got to be a bigger celebrity, etc. in our business now because of, family situations, divorces and whatever, has to fucking go out there and do that at 60 years old with artificial...
He's also the king of blowing the kayfabe. I mean, I'm straight up honest with you, man. And that's another thing I want to talk about, guys. Listen to me. Matter of fact, I'm going to make that a whole other segment. Kayfabe. You cats ain't doing it, man. You need to learn kayfabe, man. You guys need to learn that shit. Straight up. Opening up the fucking locker room doors and shit, going out, coming in, going out, coming in. No. You take your ass in the fucking locker room and you stay in the locker room. Simple as that. And there ain't no argument with it. You don't come out the locker room until it's time to wrestle. When you're done wrestling, you go the fuck back in the locker room and you sit down. You don't go out and mingle with your friends and your wife and your kids. They need to respect the kayfabe. And stay the fuck in the locker room. Kayfabe. Championship Wrestling. It means a lot. Nobody kayfabes no more. So, I don't even think I need to do another segment on that. Kayfabe, guys. Stop with that shit, man. It's not cool, man, to keep running out, coming in. You're opening up the door and you're exposing that locker room to these fans. And they don't need to see a heel and a face talking to each other. That's the whole deal with kayfabe, guys. You keep the fucking door shut. And even the locker room, man, you got to do something better. If you have to double up your fucking curtains and sheets, do it. Because you got to gap that fucking wide. Anybody can look in there. It's not cool, man. It's just a few things you got to tweak and you got to iron out to make your independent promotion the shit. And one of them is telling your workers to stay the fuck in the locker room. You know what I mean? You go out in intermission. When intermission comes, then you go out. All right? Except for your main eventers. I'm sorry. But if you're on the card and you're main eventing or whatever like that, and you're not going to go out there until it's time to work, then, have your girlfriend sit at your merchandise table and have her sell you shit. You don't need to go out there to check and see how much money you've made so far or what products of yours is already gone. If you trust the person that's selling you shit, then you ain't got to worry about it. Stay the fuck in the locker room, guys. Straight up, man. Some of you cats, man, know it. I saw a few guys that just stayed back there. Stay back there, man. Kayfabe is a big fucking ordeal, man. It has a purpose, or the name wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Keep it like that, man. Let's see what this buttnut's got to say here.
Body parts, trying to convince people that he's going to get a fucking company over when he's never been a booker, he's never gotten a company over, he's been a star. Should have stuck with it.
Rap music.
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. There we go. It's got to be way up there.
7 Up.
Not in this company.
Shit list. Why has he got 7 Up, rap music, hardcore wrestling? He's got hardcore wrestling, and they put that up off to the side. Now, Jim Cornette don't like it. He's already called it garbage wrestling, blah, 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 blah. I bet he won't say that shit to New Jack. I bet he won't say that shit to fucking Mick Foley. I bet he won't say that shit to Sabu. You know what I mean? I bet he wouldn't say it to motherfucking Bam Bam Bigelow. I bet he wouldn't say it to Terry Gordy. I bet he wouldn't fucking say it to fucking Bruiser Brody. I bet he wouldn't say that shit to Necro. You know what I mean? And when he was with ROH and he was booking or storyline or where the fuck he was doing with Ring of Honor, Necro was there. Right along with Brody Lee, which is Luke Harper. For all you people out there that don't know who it, Brody Lee is who he was before he became Luke Harper. There's only a few wrestlers that kept their names and shit like that when they moved on to the WWE or NXT. So why 7 Up? I don't understand it.
Although 7 Up does have an aftertaste that Sprite, does not have.
I bet John's ending.
No.
Okay.
John Zandig. Wow, the man brought Zandig's name out from Combat Zone Wrestling. Let's see where he ends up on the shit list.
Well, we don't have any. Let's rank these guys now. Now the work begins.
He told him put that fucking name down. See, he's even dogging out Combat Zone, man. I mean, does Jim Cornette know? Wow, you know what I'm seeing on the back of his Ring of Honor shirt? You ain't gonna believe this, guys. Ring of Honor. No limits. Didn't we have on the bottom of the Delaware Championship Wrestling thing, no limits? Something like that. I could have swear it was. I could go back and take a look at it, but he's wearing a fucking Ring of Honor shirt that's got no limits written on the back of it.
Oh, Jesus.
So he's put Vince Russo down as number 1 on his shit list. All right, let's see what he does with the Vince McMahon, Hardcore Wrestling, and Wade Keller.
Well, actually, you know what? Okay, what I said about it, I wasn't going to put Paulie up there because I can respect him for some things he's done. Vince McMahon has been, take the cheap shit off. Vince McMahon has been very successful.
And he's a very rude motherfucker.
His minions to fuck me around.
Disrespecting this guy's board, his paperwork, his magnets.
Hardcore wrestling is more of not a person or a thing. It's more of a fucking, what's the word I'm searching for? An entity concept. I think
he threw hardcore wrestling away.
With people who just have no redeeming value whatsoever. 2, 3, 4. Oh shit! Wait.
Who do you got? You got another idea? You want to add one? John Laurinaitis? You want to add? Get a pen. Let's say.
Well, once again, not even important.
Not important.
Cornette acts like he's the king of fucking wrestling. Like, hey, if Jim Cornette fucking says he's cool, he's cool. If Jim Cornette disagrees with something, then but you got to disagree with Jim Cornette.
I have to say we're gonna have to throw Wade off the fucking page because I think right here, if you want to go in this direction right here, you have the 5 worst enemies of the professional wrestling business and the professional wrestling fan, and between the 5 of them.
All right, so he's got Vince Russo, number 1. Jim Herd is number 2. Kevin Dunn is number 3. Ed Ferreira is number 4. And Mark Madden is number 5. Now, a lot of you guys don't know none of these motherfuckers except for Vince Russo. How many people out there know who Jim Herd, Kevin Dunn, Ed Ferreira, and Mark Madden are? Feel free to make your comments. I'm going to wrap this up and then I'm going to record another segment strictly about kayfabe.
They ain't worth goddamn shit. So, as my mother used to say, they don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. They don't have any talent or haven't had any talent for anything related to professional wrestling. No redeeming quality.
He gonna dog Vince Russo out like that, man. Russo was like a big deal there with WCW, man, and fucking, you know, he just hates, man. That's a hater. Jim Cornette, you a fucking hater.
Can anybody in this room, I'm holding up, name something in professional wrestling that any of these people have done well? Great angle, great promo, great performance, great something. The camera's not on you. You're nameless, you're faceless. Give me anything that any of these people have done.
Oklahoma.
Great. I said great.
Stay employed.
Yeah.
A lot of people without jobs stay employed.
He's saying that Vince Russo and Kevin Dunn, they've stayed employed.
Right, stay employed. Sold a lot of pizza.
Made money.
Apparently Vince Russo or Jim Herd must own a pizza parlor.
Initially made that transition from...
Somebody said he had a heart attack. I find that hard to believe. You'd had to have found a heart.
Wow.
Well, that's it. That's the
brutal.
shit list. That's the shit list. Might not be a bad idea for a column if you ever wanted to write for USA Today or New York Times.
Do you think if I wanted to dwell on these people...
All right, well, that's basically it. Like I said, I'm just sitting here. I'm checking out some shit. So, feel free to make your comments and take to heart what I just said, man. All right, so there you go. That's how I feel about that situation. So I'll talk to you guys later.